Welcome to receiving a message from your loved one. Please have in mind a loved one that you would like to connect with. So take a moment to think about someone who has passed over to the other side, and it may help to even write their name down on a paper. And then I want you to pick pile number 1, 2, or 3, and you're going to receive a message from the loved one that you have chosen. So you can even pause this video if you need more time in order to select a loved one or choose a pile, a number for the pile. Welcome to selection number 1. The message from your loved one starts out with the Knight of Wands. And of course, that's messages from Spirit. Wands are the suit of Spirit. And in this card, we have a very strong young woman here, and your loved one wants to indicate that they know how much strength it took for you to get through their passing. They also want you to know that they are strong and healthy on the other side. And there is a lot of symbols on the wall back here, which means that they are sending signs in a variety of ways. Bumper stickers, songs on the radio, there's a variety of way. You could see a bird, you could see something that reminds you of them. They indicate that there was a lot of troubles around the time of their passing. Like it was rough. It was rough for a lot of people. The water in the boat is rough, and they didn't suffer. So they want you to know, even though the passing could have been what appeared to be rough, they went into spirit before the body finished whatever it needed to do. They appreciate all of the healing prayers that were sent to them, and they know about all of the healing prayers. They are with the angels right now. Their life is balanced. They went to the light back here, and they are happy. They're able to watch over you as a guardian angel. They do attend the family gatherings. They loved the celebrations and the family and the parties and the get-togethers and the potlucks. They were very much a part of that, and they very much will be in spirit a part of that celebration. For some of you, your deceased loved one wants you to know that they really loved a celebration of life versus a depressing funeral. They really enjoyed the happiness and the talking of the happy memories. They do indicate that they realize there's a sense of loneliness. There's a sense of aloneness now that they're no longer taking space on the earth plane. And there's also some just little bit of mild anger or feelings that why did they have to pass? I mean, just this kind of emotion, that there's just a little bit of frustration, let's call it that, a little bit of frustration on why they had to pass. But they're passing the torch down to you, that you'll carry on the legacy, and they know that they will always be remembered, and they send you a great deal of love. Those of you who selected option number 2, yours starts out with beautiful memories and pictures that might be hanging on the wall, things hanging on the wall that they remember. They also indicate, the woman looking at the cards, they're absolutely mind-boggled as to how someone looking at cards can speak to the deceased. And they indicate that someone is reading about genealogy or the past or the family history. Someone's doing some research on the history, or even some of you, there'll be a reconnecting of family. Like maybe the family didn't get along too well, and someone is, looking into whether or not they can bring this family a little bit more together. Your loved one is happy on the other side. They're with the angels, and they went to the light, and it's beautiful up in the clouds. And also, this can indicate sending birds as signs. Like you might see a very specific breed of bird over and over again. This can be a repeated pattern of the bird, but they are very, very happy on the other side. Now, this card indicates that there's some disruption back on Earth. This indicates family not getting along. This could be because they passed away. There could be a battle for the inheritance or a battle of some kind. Or maybe there was a battle before they passed and they're just recognizing that the battle still continues. There's harsh words. Don't fight. They're indicating don't engage in the battle. It's just not worth it. Put your weapons, leave your weapons there, which are your verbal weapons. Don't even talk about them and detach from them completely. And this is your loved one indicating that feel their energy. Reach your hand out and feel them, and you can ask for help. See the woman reaching out, and she's got the sword. She's like, oh, do you think you can help me? You can ask them to help you. You can talk to them on the other side, and your words are heard. And they also want to say to you that you were a great, bright, shining light in their life, that you gave them a reason to live. You were a beautiful person to them while they were alive, and that sometimes they'll wake you up in the middle of the night and you'll gaze out at the night sky and you'll just say, where are you out there? And they are out there and they're fully aware of you. So this is also a message for some of you who are having suppressed emotions, that you haven't really fully grieved, that you don't really know how to deal with the loss of this loved one. And they're saying to you, it's okay to express your emotions. You don't need to hide your emotions. Like the crab, come on out, be crabby, express in whatever way you need to establish your grief, and this will be able to move on. For some of you, your loved one indicates two living places. There's two living places. It can also mean that their ashes are spread up in multiple locations. They're okay with that. And they've moved on to a new path and a new journey, and they're very happy where they are right now. So that's your option for number 2. Those of you who selected option number 3, your message starts out with a great deal of physical suffering and suffering of the person who was left behind. So this is talking about the 5 of Pentacles, talks about suffering not only physically, because you could have grieved to the point of having a physical problem, but also that my camera's having an issue here. But even without seeing the card, it's okay. It's all right. It just means that there was a lot of pain and suffering and abandonment. There was a feeling of abandonment, like, how could you leave and you abandoned me and you left, us without any guidance. There's just definitely a feeling of abandonment here. And the loved one is indicating that they didn't have full control over how they left. They didn't have as much control as what you realize. They're reaching out with the olive branch. Here's like they're reaching out. They're far above the earth. See, he's got the little tiny earth in his hand, and they're far above the earth, but they're still able to reach out to you. They're still able to reach out, and they love. If somebody did some flowers, somebody must have done flowers or some flowers, and they were loving what you did around the flowers. But they definitely are sending you signs. There's a great deal of really close love here with the relationship. And there was some choices to make that you had to make after they passed away. These were very difficult choices. And for those of you who had to make those decisions and choices, your loved one is like, you had their blessing. You had their blessing to make those choices. They know the struggles that you went to, because now they're not there. As seen in this card here, the Page of Swords, it's like there's no one to talk to anymore, and it's okay to be frustrated. It's okay because they're not there anymore. They're an empty shell. This is actually indicating that you could have been angry with some of the treatment as they were dying that maybe the caregivers gave, and there's some anger here, but they were a shell by then. They were just the shell. They were not in there. And they hope that you resolve this frustrating feeling that you have. They offer up a toast to you. Here's to the good life we had together. Here's to the memories. Here's to the clothes I wore. They're talking about how interesting they had for a wardrobe. They had a very interesting wardrobe that they were somewhat proud of. And, they're just behind the window. They're just behind the pane and the clouds up here. And so they're just indicating for all of you not to worry, not to have any worries about them. They're safe, they're happy, and there is a great deal of love. And for some of you, you may have like an item of their clothing or a special item that they held, and their energy is in that item. And they send you much love for the feeling of abandonment that you might have. They want you to heal that feeling so it doesn't, disturb your present lifetime. And thank you.